Well, that was bad. After watching this movie, I tried to make excuses for it. I sat on the couch going, oh, well, this was bad, but I mean, I guess this is why. This was bad, but it could have been worse. And the reason I was trying to make excuses for it was this movie had an amazing concept behind it. I had really high hopes for this, as did everybody else. The director behind it, David Ayer, has a good track record. Max Landis, although I'm not a big fan of him, has written some good movies. And I sat there just trying to justify a way that this movie wasn't bad. Bright is a Netflix original film. It's set in a modern day world where fantasy creatures live alongside humans. It follows two cops, played by Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. Joel Edgerton plays an orc in this movie, which are kind of the representation of discrimination and people that have been discriminated against. Will Smith's character does not want to work with Joel Edgerton's character because he is an orc for that reason. Later on in the movie, after all is established, they come across a wand, which can only be controlled by a Bright, which the new movie is named after. A Bright is one of the only beings in the universe that can control magic, and it needs a wand to do so. With the wand, from what the movie says, they can destroy the universe. So these two cops get their hands on a magic wand and are in a flee for their lives from gangsters, other policemen, the Federal Bureau, along with many other things. Now, that's what the movie is about. What the movie is actually about is discrimination. The plot of this movie doesn't actually matter. It could be anything, and that's why it is a run away from bad guys shtick. It's pretty obvious that the plot doesn't matter, and they didn't really care about the plot either because everything they do is very predictable. What does actually matter in this movie and what the focal point is the racial differences between the elves, orcs, and humans, and the similarities it has between discrimination in real life. That was disappointing to me. I understand that's an important subject, and everybody should be very knowledgeable of it and touch on it at some point in movies like this. That doesn't need to be the main focus of it. That's not what I signed up for. I signed up for this movie because I wanted Lord of the Rings meets End of the Watch. And in some kind of sense, I got that. But I got a really shitty version of it that I didn't want. The world they have here is amazing, or at least has the potential to be amazing if they touched on it. They jump right into the movie, assuming we know everything about this universe that we've never seen or heard of before. They give small instances of background that happened thousands of years ago with the Dark Lord, and I would have loved to have them to touch on that more. But instead of getting a great movie with an awesome backstory, fantasy intertwined with modern world, we get this pile of garbage. The world itself doesn't actually even make sense. It had the potential to make sense. Let me make that clear. The potential to make sense. Everything is wildly inconsistent. They reference things that happen in real life that shouldn't happen if there is a combination of the fantasy world and the modern world. Now, Netflix is known for letting people have creative control, so we cannot blame the studio on this one. This one was completely David Ayer's fault. I read Max Landis' script, and it was a lot different. The script he made was a lot darker, and in my opinion, a much better movie. It wasn't perfect. Max Landis isn't a perfect writer, like nobody is. But it was a lot better than what we were given here. Will Smith and Joel Edgerton, both phenomenal actors, could not even save this. Joel Edgerton gave a great performance. Will Smith gave an alright performance, but he couldn't even save this being Will Smith. Nothing in this movie pushed boundaries in any kind of way, or was anything more than a racial message disguised as a buddy cop movie with bad lead chemistry and laughable dialogue. So for that and many more reasons, I'm going to give Bright a 2.2 out of 10. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my other reviews.